Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Thursday, November 30th. Jaguars versus Bengals preview Monday Night Football. First time since 2011 for your Jaguars. This game does not have the national appeal that it would have if Joe Burrow were playing. Obviously, he is out for the season, unfortunately. But the Jaguars, they should be fired up to play on primetime. A chance to put on a show at home. Jags fans should be excited to see this team play Monday Night Football at home in the bank. Should be a hell of a time. The Jaguars, they're 8-3, winners of 7 of the last 8, first place in the AFC South, third in the AFC. It's obviously been a tough season for the Cincinnati Bengals, but they are prideful and they still have some talent throughout this roster, even without Joe Burrow, that can present some problems. We'll talk about it throughout the rest of the week. But with no Joe Burrow, they are not the same. That's going to be the case with pretty much any starting quarterback in the league, especially a quarterback with the talent level and the overall level of a Joe Burrow, right? One of the best quarterbacks in football. I feel for them, feel for the fans, feel for Joe Burrow. A disappointing situation for them, no doubt. And I know they'll be back in 2024 in a big way. The Jaguars, they are 8.5-point home favorites. We can go ahead and get into this one. Jaguars offense versus Bengals defense. The Bengals defense, they have really struggled on the back end, quite frankly. They lost Jesse Bates. They lost Von Bell. Not only 2 of their best players, but 2 of the best safeties in the league. Jesse Bates, a free safety. Von Bell, more of a strong safety type player. Both of those guys are gone to free agency this year, and it's been really tough sledding without them. Daxton Hill, second-year player out of Michigan, hasn't been exactly what they had hoped for so far. Nick Scott, who they brought over from the Los Angeles Rams, hasn't been all that either so far for them. So a little bit disappointing when you talk about having 2 Pro Bowl caliber players. You know, Jesse Bates may be the best free safety in football. To go from that to now having guys that you don't feel super comfortable with in terms of doing the things that they were asked to do in the past. So I think that's been a big reason that the Bengals defense hasn't been as impressive. I also think just not having a healthy Joe Burrow early on and then not having Joe Burrow at all now does not help. Lou Anarumo, he is a great defensive coordinator. He's just so good at making adjustments and tailoring a game plan to fit the opponent that they are playing each week, but it just has not been the same in 2023 without Bates, without Von Bell, and without Joe Burrow. They do have a really good pass rusher up front, and Trey Hendrickson, one of the best in the league in my opinion. Miles Murphy, a rookie out of Clemson, I really liked him in the draft. I think they got very good value for him in the draft, late first round. He's been getting some more run lately. Sam Hubbard is a great run defender on the edge. DJ Reader in the middle, a very good run stuffer and interior pass rusher, underrated player overall. BJ Hill can get it done as well for them. The linebackers are very good, not having their best year, but I love Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson. But I think part of the reasons that they have not been as effective as normal is for one, again, the offense not being as good as normal, but again, not having Jesse Bates and Von Bell, the guys that they've been playing with on the back end there for a while, I think is hurting the linebackers. Logan Wilson is dealing with a sprained ankle, may or may not play on Monday. So if they're without him, that'll obviously be a big blow. Jordan Battle, rookie out of Alabama, he has been playing very well at safety. He's been getting more and more run. I had a second-round grade on him. Loved that pick by them in the third round, end of the third round. I thought that was amazing value, just like I thought Miles Murphy was very good value. This is a smart, athletic, hard-hitting safety, so that's a guy to keep an eye out for sure. They've also got DJ Turner on the back end at cornerback, another rookie who I was a huge fan of. I really liked their class, if you can't tell. He's been getting plenty of run as well. He's got great speed, really instinctive player, hard-hitting player, even though he's not the biggest guy out there. Mike Hilton's a good nickel. Cam Taylor-Britt, a good physical outside cornerback in his second year playing good football. But Cam Taylor-Britt, he's been dealing with a quad injury, may or may not return for this game. So you're starting to see a little bit of a theme there with some of these Bengals defenders, The defense just has not had that spark in 2023 that they have in the past. They've been allowing a lot of yards through the air and on the ground. Hasn't been pretty. I think that they will struggle with the Jaguars offense, who should try to attack the spine of the defense, as I mentioned. I think the linebackers in coverage have struggled a little bit without Bates and Bell. I think that the safeties are going to struggle in coverage a little bit. I think that as long as the Jaguars use plenty of play action, misdirection, motion, they should be just fine. And they've been doing a lot of that over the last couple weeks. Keep it creative on the offensive side of the ball, and you'll be good to go. Keep that verticality you've seen while mixing in plenty of underneath stuff as well. But you do want to see the Jags clean some things up from last week and from the season as a whole on offense. I think the drops have been, certainly last week, they were a problem. At times throughout the year, they've been a problem. I thought that they had cleaned it up prior to last week, but kind of reared its ugly head with 4 drops. I think they need to start converting on short yardage better. They should have a decent day in pass protection. You know, Trey Hendrickson and DJ Reader are both good pass rushers, but beyond that, they don't have like a devastating pass rush overall. And in my opinion, you might need to give Hendrickson a little bit more attention, right? I think maybe chip him, make sure that you're kind of rolling away from his side and not giving him a free run at your quarterback, because he can be a game wrecker. Maybe you get the run game going a little bit more than you have in this one. Again, the Bengals run defense not been great so far. Walker Little will be in at left tackle. Ezra Cleveland at left guard. So I actually think that gives the Jaguars a chance to have a better rushing attack, because I think Ezra Cleveland at left guard is going to be a lot better than anyone that they have plugged in at left guard throughout the season. And there have been a bunch of guys, Ben Barch, Tyler Shatley, obviously Walker Little, who's now going to be playing left tackle with Cam Robinson out. But I think that the interior of the offensive line could improve with Ezra Cleveland at left guard. Trevor Lawrence, he's been playing really well lately for the Jaguars. Again, they've been creative with their play calling 3 of the last 4 games. I think you just got to try to improve upon a couple things here and there with the offense. Lawrence, I thought he played fantastic last week, but there were a couple times where he was a little late getting the ball out. So want to make sure that he's getting the ball out on time consistently. Obviously not a glaring issue, but it is something that we noticed on tape last week. I don't necessarily expect an offensive explosion from the Jaguars, but wouldn't be shocked if the defense is able to force some takeaways and put some points on the board themselves, potentially, if the Jaguars do kind of have a point scoring explosion. But for me, I think that they should get close to 30 in this one. You know, mid to upper 20s is the type of score I would expect from the Jaguars offense without any help from the Jags defense. And looking at the Jags defense versus the Bengals offense has been struggling without Joe Burrow. No surprise there. Jake Browning in at quarterback. Pass pro has been really, really bad for them. The running game hasn't been much better with Joe Mixon. Obviously, you do have to worry about the talent of a Joe Mixon, of a Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. If T. Higgins is able to return with that hamstring, you have to worry about him as well. But Jake Browning, he just is not an NFL starter, and I don't think he's one of the better backups in the league at this point. So this should be a banner day for the Jaguars defense, one of the best defenses in football right now. They should have a good week of preparation, play their brand of football, and I think if they do both of those things, they will be absolutely fine in this game and be able to, again, have a big day. I think Josh Allen should absolutely eat against Orlando Brown. P.S. Remember when everyone in Jacksonville, maybe not everyone, but a lot of folks were clamoring to replace Cam Robinson with Orlando Brown? How y'all feeling about that now? Obviously not very good. Cam Robinson has been much better than Orlando Brown the last couple years. Obviously Robinson dealing with the knee injury right now. Should be back, either at the end of the regular season, start of the playoffs, whatever it may be. But I think that you should feel very good about the Jaguars front versus the Bengals offensive line overall, and the Jaguars defense as a whole against the Bengals offense. We'll see if we can get Tyson Campbell back this week. Obviously, you want to have him back at some point before the playoffs so he can get some game reps, get comfortable, reacquainted with being back on the field before the playoffs kick off. So we'll see how that plays out. The special teams for the Jaguars, just keep doing your thing. You've been balling out. Brandon McManus has been very clutch. Did miss one kick last week, but prior to that, I think he had made 20 straight field goals, something like that. A guy who has given the Jaguars the opportunity to kick field goals from very deep and been very accurate overall for the Jags. Logan Cook, one of the best punters in the league. Parker Washington had a heck of a return last week, so I think you're feeling good about special teams. Obviously, the coverage units have been playing well for the Jaguars too. So I think you should feel good about this one if you're a Jaguars fan. Again, it is Monday Night Football. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be some 40-10 blowout, but I think the Jaguars should be able to win this game fairly comfortably. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear. Y'all have a good one.